Thanks to Jersey's Sports Zone, and Volpe makes almost the identical play.
At home, they call me Big Al, and I hit dingers.
Remember that young man, Big Al?
The Minnesota Lynx select Diamond Miller.
Video courtesy of Jersey Sports Zone.
It's an incredible goal, so that's a nice one. It's deserved the number one.
You got my food.
Number 2, New Jersey high school football.
Here on Jersey Sports Zone.
One season down, 2 more to go. That's the state of affairs here in the New Jersey high school sports world. Thank you for listening and checking in for the 15th episode of the Beyond the Score podcast. I'm Jay Cook. Rich Krampanis under the weather this week, so we're going to let Rich get back better. But joining me today later in the show is our South Jersey sports guru, James Mooney. He's going to be joining us in the live studio online, and we're going to get through everything that's going on right now. A quick recap. We are officially finished with the high school football season. So the Group 2 state championship at Rutgers was played last week. James and Tyler Mraz were there. James is going to give us the full breakdown of the Group 2 state final. Then the winter sports season is already underway. We can't even believe it. We've been mapping out games already this week. Hockey is in full swing, and basketball, boys and girls, is going to start kicking off at the end of the week. So this episode is going to be a winter sports preview. We're going to leave wrestling out. Wrestling is going to command its own episode, basically, when Rich comes back. So we're going to save that for him. We're going to put wrestling on the back burner, But right now, we're going to get touching on hockey, boys and girls basketball. So when we come back, we're going to take a short break. James Mooney is going to join us, and we're going to get into the last game of the 2025 football season.
It's one thing to win one award, but it's another 46 things to win 46 awards. New Jersey's most comprehensive academic healthcare system. Learn more at rwjbh.org/US News.
All right, so now we're going to welcome in James Mooney, chiming in from his South Jersey headquarters there. James, thank you so much for joining us. And let's get into this Group 2 state final. We have been waiting for this game. This was the game that had to be pushed back till after Thanksgiving because both Camden and Shabazz play on Thanksgiving. So this was the last state championship of the entire season. And we talked about this game being one of the more interesting games regionally because you have 2 of the biggest cities in New Jersey going up against each other in a state final. Shabazz from Newark and Camden High School. The atmosphere is the thing that kind of interested me most coming into this game. What did that look like at SHI Stadium? That must have been some incredible crowd.
Yeah. Glad to be back on the pod with you here, Jay. And it was quite the atmosphere there at SHI Stadium at Rutgers University. Both the Shabazz and Camden bands were, as advertised, setting the stage for a great night of football that saw Camden come out 27-8. Winning their first Group 2 state championship.
Camden had been a buzzsaw for most of the season, right? Obviously they'd been in some games, a couple low-scoring games early on, but as the season went on, it looks like Camden kind of really came into form. What was their game plan in this matchup? A low-scoring game at the half, right? And then they kind of take off in the second half. What did you see from the Panthers, and what do you think they wanted to do in this game?
So I think the way the game went was very emblematic of how Camden's season kind of went. The defense was there all year long, holding things down. They forced 5 turnovers in that game. Talib Shakir totally flips that game on its head with a 56-yard pick six to open the scoring in the second quarter. And then the offense got rolling later in that first half. Ibn Muhammad scores a touchdown to make it 14-0 going to the break, and then they're able to just stretch that lead in the third and fourth quarter and put that thing away. With about 5 minutes to go.
We had talked about this on last week's show. The South Jersey teams won 4 out of the 5 group championships, 4 out of the 4, I should say, that had been played up to that point. Camden completes the South Jersey sweep. And I know this had been a massive point of discussion over the last week, but the banner year for South Jersey football was capped off with a Camden State championship. What is the vibe down in South Jersey? I mean, you were, I'm sure, talking to a bunch of fellow reporters and media guys on the sidelines. I mean, you said it last week, too. A banner year. But to see Camden finish off the sweep, 5 for 5 for one region of the entire state, that is really, really impressive.
Yeah, I think the vibes are high down in South Jersey right now. You're talking 5 teams coming off of state championships. A lot of great teams had good seasons as well. I believe now it's the South Central, if we want to include like Toms River North and all that. They've won 15 out of the 20 public state championships that have been played over these first 4 years. So I think we're seeing a trend continue, and I think this banner year for South Jersey really kind of put a stamp on the early stages of the state championship era in public New Jersey football.
Yeah, it's a good point. And I think something that else goes into it, too, is that a lot of the publics up north lose talent to the non-publics. And I think that is why – and look, I'm not making an excuse. These South Jersey teams have been incredible. Like, Winslow is a generationally good team, right, with the core that they have. Washington Township, one of the great seasons in New Jersey high school football history in the group championship era, right? Look, I'm not going to say that they don't deserve it because those teams have been incredible. But I look at the North Jersey, and yeah, those publics do lose to the non-publics, lose players to the non-publics. So I think I don't want to know if saying watered down is the right way to say it. I don't know that that's fair. I still think there's some great high school football being played up in North Jersey. Some really good blue blood programs that have been, successful football programs for a bunch of years. But I think that does play a part into it. And I would like to see the North, come away with a couple of these, right? Beat some of these really good teams. But it's tough. The non-publics are obviously elite. How can you deny it, right? I mean, I think everybody knows that St. Joe's Montvale would beat every of the remaining state champions, right? Like, I saw somebody float something like a tournament of champions for football, and I was like, oh, no, that's not, no. Like, I don't think we should do that. I don't know that that's a good idea. But, yeah, it's interesting. It is interesting. But, look, congratulations to Camden. Let's give them their flowers. This is, one of the historic, great athletic towns and communities in the history of New Jersey high school sports. We're going to be talking about Camden in a little bit in their number one sport. So congratulations to them and congratulations to the South Jersey guys. And Jersey guys too. And this kind of leads into our blast from the past. We saw a guy who is from South Jersey who made his name at Rutgers go out on Sunday football, and have an incredible game. How about Bo Melton scoring an NFL touchdown in the Packers-Bears game? I know that had you really jazzed up. Yeah. It's been a heck of a week for Cedar Creek. They win a state championship on Black Friday. Bo Melton comes out on Sunday, scores a big touchdown before halftime in that game against Chicago. He's had an interesting. We were talking off air when he scores the touchdown. The Green Bay had converted him to a defensive back in the offseason. So when I look up and I see Bo Melton in the end zone, I thought, oh wow, defensive play, wow. No, they put him back at wide receiver for old time's sake, and runs a nice 9 route down the field to score a touchdown. That's incredible. So that is going to be our blast from the past. We're going to dig into the archives right now. We're going to take you back to Bo Melton's draft day, an incredible moment. He had to wait around a little while, right? It got a little tense there, but our Mike Frankel was there back in the day a couple years ago to document that. So we're going to go to break. We're going to go to blast from the past, and when we come back, we're going to get into the winter sports season. We'll talk to you in just a second.
It's time for another Blast from the Past, brought to you by the Heldridge, New Brunswick's only 4-star hotel.
Hey everyone, I'm James Mooney. Bo Melton scored a big touchdown to help the Green Bay Packers beat the Chicago Bears on Sunday. Back in 2022, Mike Frankel was on hand when the former Cedar Creek and Rutgers standout was selected by the Seattle Seahawks in the NFL Draft.
Bo Melton gets busy on the football field, so sitting still wasn't easy. The Cedar Creek High School grad and Rutgers product waited to hear his name called on day 3 of the 2022 NFL Draft. It took until the 7th round, but when the Seahawks selected him, Melton's NFL dream came true.
This moment is surreal. Can't even explain how this is right now, but I'm just happy for me and my family, and I can't wait to be a Seahawk.
Dozens of family members and friends were there in Toms River to celebrate the emotional moment with Melton.
It means everything to me, this is my family, and I love every single one of them that's here, and that's why they're here, because they mean a lot to me. So getting my name called in front of them and just being able to be there for them, provide for them is going to be a lot for me.
Blast from the Past is brought to you by the Heldridge, New Brunswick's only 4-star hotel and a preferred hotel of Rutgers football fans since 2005. The Heldridge helps you make the most of your game day weekend, providing premium accommodations in the cultural heart of downtown New Brunswick. Restaurants, bars, theaters, parks, museums, and more are only steps away. Whether you're traveling alone or with a large group, book your stay at the Heldridge and make the most of your game day weekend.
Over the river from a place you well know is a land called New Jersey, where holidays glow. Where after tearing through presents, kids crash by the tree, and folks order their favorite Taylor ham, egg, and cheese.
SPK.
The whole state's a garden of holiday wishes, where Nonas serve up mountains of dishes. It's the Jersey in all of us, in all that we do. So when you're home for the holidays, don't forget to ask,
What exit are you?
You're there for them. We're here for you. Get back the life you love.
All right, welcome back to Beyond the Score. I'm going to think James is going to agree with me here. I was excited to put my winter stuff away and then realized I had to start going to some hockey games again and was like, nah, I should probably leave the hand warmers in the car and my gloves in my camera bag because that's what we're dealing with right now. It is high school hockey season. It is officially here. Hockey is trails right after football, and when we start seeing some hockey games, that is the start of the winter, and hockey is well underway. I mean, let's not there's teams have played 2 games already by the time this podcast drops on Wednesday. I know a couple teams are going to have 3 games in the can already, which is kind of crazy to think about, but that is what it looks like. So I know people who are hockey fans in New Jersey, there's not much hockey going on in South Jersey, albeit for a couple big non-publics. So James is going to give us some insight into what we're going to look forward to those teams down in South Jersey. We've got some of the big boys up north, and we're going to get into some of the guys that you need to watch. If you are a high school hockey fan, you're going to have to get to see these players. So let's jump right into the non-publics. I think the biggest story and biggest team to watch, there's no question, is Delbarton. Team that won 22 games last year, put together just an incredible season. They win the Gordon. They beat CBA in the Gordon final. They win the state final by beating CBA again, this time more handily. I think it was a 5-1 game. So you've got Delbarton, this incredible team, run the table last year. They had one tie, one loss. So this is an incredible team. Coach Bruce Chattel does an awesome job getting these guys ready to go week in, week out, day after day, really, because the hockey season, as you know, James, is a grind. You've got games stacked on top of games. It gets a little crazy. And you will see Delbarton, too. They always mosey on down to South Jersey, play GC, play St. Augustine. But look, this Delbarton team excites me. You've got some guys that played major roles last year coming back again this year. I think they're returning 6 guys on defense. So you've got 3 lines of defense back already. Sean O'Gwen is a guy that, really kind of stole the show for them in the later part of the season, scoring some big time goals for the Green Wave. He's going to be back. Aiden Pasick, one of these first-line forwards, just a grinder of a player. He's going to be back. And I think the guy that interests me, and I'm sure you're going to see him too, James, Igor Andreev, Russian-born kid here in New Jersey. He's been this kid's story is incredible. He's been all over the country, all over the world. He has played hockey on different continents. This kid is well-traveled, and boy, is he a major problem. 18 goals last season for Igor Andreev. This is absolutely one of the best players in the state. So one guy that we've got to look out for when you're going to see Delbarton. They are a powerhouse, undoubtedly a powerhouse. The other team that you have to watch out for is Don Bosco Prep. And look, I understand these are non-publics. These are really, really good teams. But, you line up these teams against any team in New Jersey, they're going to clean up. Bosco is spectacular. Coach Toscos does an awesome job. I was talking to him on the sidelines of some Don Bosco games recently, and he's really excited for the season to get underway. They're already out to a hot start. Bosco picked up a 2-1 win over St. Joe's Montvale in the season opener. Joe's moved up a division in the Gordon Conference. They're now in the American, and that's the big boy division. That is the, hey, let's go get you some hockey division. I mean, it's no joke. So Bosco is a team that everybody's going to have circled on their schedule. Nico Papachristou is definitely one of their top guys. Big kid, a grinder. He's going to score a lot of goals this season. So, look, Bosco is a team that you got to look out for. And look, James, it wasn't too long ago that St. Augustine was beating all these teams, right? Like, Augustine won the non-public championship a couple seasons ago. They have a young team. You were just telling me off air. What's exciting about St. Augustine this year? What do people in North Jersey have to look out for with the Hermits as they take the ice here in 2025?
Yeah, so I think we're going to find a lot out about this St. Augustine team right out of the gates here. 10-9 a year ago saw their run atop New Jersey non-public hockey and lost in the Gordon semis to that Delbarton team. And you're right, that team was an absolute wagon a year ago.
They were good.
Yeah.
They were good.
So from a St. Augustine standpoint, they've got Cam DeLeo, their returning leading scorer, returning this year as a senior. He had 12 goals a year ago. This is a bit of a younger team. This was a younger team a year ago. How will they mature coming into this season, and can they get themselves back into title contention? I think that's the biggest question we'll be asking about the Hermits this season. And like I said, we'll find out a lot about them early. They face Don Bosco twice and Delbarton just in the next 8 days. So they will be hitting the ground running.
It's a murderer's row to begin the year, man. That is tough.
Yeah, schedule makers did not do the St. Augustine any favors, but I'm sure in some way they wouldn't have it any other way. The best way to get better is iron sharpening iron. So...
I'm looking at their schedule here. They open with Bosco on Tuesday, so when you're listening to the podcast, that decision will already have happened. They then have 5 road games back-to-back, and they're not home again until after the New Year. So they're going to be on the road for almost a month. I mean, that's a tough test for this team. I mean, they're going to have to go out on the road and really win some big games.
I mean, that's just New Jersey high school hockey for you, though,
Yeah.
Especially with rink availability, things like that. You get these stretches of play where you don't see your home ice for a little while. I think that they'll have that first home game after this stretch. It won't even be a home game technically, because then St. Augustine and Gloucester Catholic share the same rink. Gloucester Catholic will be the home game in that game. But so like you said, it's a grind. This season is a grind. Non-publics and even the publics. While we're here, Gloucester Catholic, they had themselves took a step in the right direction after a winless year in 22-23. Won 3 games a year ago. Now they will have to replace much of their production So the big question there is who will step up for those Rams, and what does this, next step in their progression look like? They lost 7-5 in their home opener to Princeton Day, so clearly they can put the puck in the net. I think now that it's getting things rounding into form will be something they'll be eager to see over the next few weeks.
I saw them. They were on the road at Seton Hall Prep last year. I got them because, look, I mean, we get a South Jersey team up in North Jersey. Let's get them. And it was a 7-5 game. Sophomore Narbiken had an incredible game. So, look, I mean, hockey is also the sport where you don't know who's coming back. The rosters are changing all the time. I'm looking at the roster here, and it says Nar is on the roster, a really good player for them last year. So he's a 200-foot guy. I was really impressed with him in that game. I think he had a hat trick. So, yeah, look, I mean, it's tough. You look at a team like Gloucester who had bumps and bruises, right, and hopefully on the rise. I'm going back up to North Jersey, and a team that I think is going to shock a lot of people this year, Morristown Beard. I know Rich will get to see them a little bit. I get to see them a lot. They're up in Morristown, splitting time at Twin Oaks and Menin. That is that's a really good team. Already out to 2-0 to begin the year. They are looking like the heavy favorites to win the Menin division this year. The Menin Cup is absolutely one of the most competitive division championships in the entire state of New Jersey. I put the Gordon kind of at its own level, and then, you sit there and say, okay, you've got the Menin, you got the McInnes Cup. Obviously, the Shore has gotten things right in making sure they get the right team to win their championship. So, but Morristown Beard, one of the best goalies in the entire state of New Jersey, Mason Rixov. This kid is all over the place. He's like a gymnast in between the pipes. Kid's so athletic. So you're talking about game-changing players. That one of those is Mason Rixov. They have a big game on Thursday. I've already got this one circled, so I'm excited to get up there to Menin. They're going to play Randolph in a big divisional championship, divisional game. Could be a preview of a championship. Randolph, went down to the wire last year in the public semifinals. Up north, boy, that's a really, really good team. They graduate some talent, but look, Morristown Beard is absolutely going to be a team to watch this season, and I think that, when they get into the non-public A playoffs at the end of the road, they could have a really high seed. So there should be some meaningful hockey, non-public hockey at Menin and Twin Oaks.
Absolutely.
I'm looking at, I'm excited about that. We go from teams now to a couple players that we have to watch. And I teased this segment by, if you are a New Jersey high school hockey fan, or if you are just a hockey fan in general, you want to see these two guys. Braydon Sisco from KJS United, that's Kinnelon, Jefferson, and Sparta, the tri-op. Braydon Sisco is our reigning player of the year. 50 goals last season. Co-op state champions for KJS. What didn't KJS do? Braydon Sisco was brilliant. Just an absolutely game-changing type of player. So filthy, so dangerous with the puck at the end of his stick. This kid is absolutely electric. A little bit on the smaller side, so a little unsuspecting when you see him on the ice, especially if you watch your games from up top. But, boy, this kid's speed is undeniable. His finishing ability is undeniable. So, KJS, they are absolutely going to be a team to watch this year, too, with Braydon leading the way. But he is one of the most fun players in the entire state of New Jersey. And then this is one of my favorite hockey players that I have ever covered over the last 7-8 years now here at Jersey Sports Zone. I went out of my way to go get Ridgewood on the road last week at the Ice Vault in Wayne. Will Lasoro. I mean, this is a name that you need to keep an eye on. We have covered guys that have done incredible things at the high school hockey level and have gone on to be NHL draft picks. Aaron Minetian, Drew Fortescue. These are two guys that I covered specifically throughout high school. Will Lesoro is on that path. That's the, that is not a hot take either. Like, that's like,
not a hot take.
Right? When people talk about this kid up north, they say you're literally watching a future pro. And 31 goals, 31 assists last year for Will. Ridgewood had this incredible season, make an incredible push into the public state championship. They lost to a really good Westfield team. But, boy, Ridgewood is absolutely going to be one of the public powerhouses this year. Will was out with his junior team on Friday when I went up to the game, so I did not get to see him, but I did get to see what they look like without him. And his older brother, AJ, is one heck of a player, too. AJ is a Penn State lacrosse commit. This kid knows how to finish. So a fantastic player. The two Lesoro brothers are so much fun, but when they get vibing and grooving, going with each other, there's nothing more fun than that, watching those guys play. So Ridgewood is an awesome high school hockey team. Will Lesoro is a generationally good player. So if you want to get to, see a guy that could be in the NHL one day, you're going to have to get up to go to the Hackensack Ice House where Ridgewood plays their home games, or at the Ice Vault, or you're going to have to check out that schedule and follow those guys around. So, but yeah, the hockey season is in full swing. We mapped out our schedule this week already. We were all going to be at games. So continued high school hockey coverage all the time on jerseysportszone.com, our Instagram page, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, all that stuff. You can find all of that there. So we're going to close the book on the high school hockey previews. When we come back, we're getting into basketball. This basketball season is going to look a little different. There's going to be a couple new faces, and we're going to break all that down for you when we come back on Beyond the Score.
Dream big, they say. We say dream bigger. Over 3 million square feet of bigger, so you can plunge deeper. Play in the snow longer. Wonder greater. Pose with your friends sillier. Shop with your family happier. Make every meal tastier. And float higher than ever. Whatever your dream is, come live it big time at American Dream.
ACI Medical and Dental School in Eatontown is celebrating 20 years of new beginnings and 20 years of new careers. Start your new career as a medical or dental assistant in less than 4 months. From a talented faculty and staff to state-of-the-art equipment and training, ACI's medical and dental training programs are designed to help students succeed. Registration is open for day and evening classes. Visit aci.edu to begin your healthcare journey.
All right, welcome back to the Beyond the Score podcast. Now let's get into basketball. This year is going to be different. We had some incredible players last season that were underclassmen that were awesome, won state championships, won conference championships, broke scoring records that people thought would never break, and all of a sudden, they're gone. And it has really put into question what high school basketball looks like around the country, looks like in New Jersey. So, James, welcome back. Let's get into some of these guys that are no longer playing basketball in New Jersey. Jaden Hodge, Belgium transfer, was at St. Rose for the last number of years. Jaden is transferred to Montverde. He is gone. So that's a guy who was up for our Mr. Hoop Zone award, is now in Florida playing high school basketball. Aiden Durkak was a finalist for our Mr. Hoop Zone award. Colonia kid, led Colonia to a conference championship, led Colonia to the state semifinals, and what happens? He transfers to Spire. He's gone for his senior year. So you have two incredible 2026 guys that are just gone, just disappeared off the face of the earth in our world, right? And then the one that hurts me is Makai White. Not that, one over the other, but Makai White, a freshman, Bergen County kid, was at St. Benedict's Prep last year, had an all-time great freshman season. I think he broke one of DeJuan Wagner's records, a freshman scoring record.
Yeah.
And so, this kid was, oh my goodness, was he unbelievable. There was a coaching change at St. Benedict's. There was some moving around. And what happens? Mekhi White transfers to Brewster Academy. He's no longer in the state of New Jersey. So, James, I just want to pick your brain, really. Like, it happens. This isn't a regional thing. All right, this isn't just a North Jersey thing or a Central Jersey thing. This is a statewide thing, and I think it needs to be looked at. What does it do to high school sports, especially high school basketball in New Jersey? I mean, certainly it's going to look a little different this year, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think it's a sign of the times. When you look at guys like Jaden Hodgenay and Dirk Kack leaving places they've been highly successful to take a step up. You know, Montverde and Spire are among the nation's top programs, so it's a testament to the players that they are themselves, that these schools are saying, hey, want to come play for us and play on that national circuit. And I think it really sets the tone for the season of, you know, who's going to step up? Who are those guys that are going to – because there's no shortage of good basketball, great basketball here in the Garden State.
Agreed.
From north to central to south, you'll see guys like Deron Rippey, Ethan Lynn, just to name a few. I'm sure there's plenty of guys up north, plenty of guys that will emerge down south as well. But it definitely sets that tone of like, okay, things are a little wide open in terms of the player of the year and state championship contenders. So
for sure. Yeah. You bring up Deron Rippey, and that's a really good point. Now, we, more than other media companies, we will dip our toe into the prep world. There's so much good basketball. Heck, they play with a shot clock. So, I mean, like, it's so much better to watch and cover a game that plays with a shot clock. It's so much different. But Deron Rippey, legit a top 10 senior in the entire country, going to be McDonald's All-American, going to be one of these, great New Jersey players. Not a New Jersey kid, but plays high school basketball in New Jersey. Blair is an incredible program. They are going to duke it out in some heavyweight games. I know they play College Achieve soon. They're going to mix it up with Patrick School soon. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities for us to get Blair and see those guys. But, in the scope of things, they don't compete for state championships. So we talk about them. We're going to cover them. I'm sure we'd love to have Deron on the podcast too, because he's a really interesting young man and, one heck of a basketball player. So when we get to NJSI AA teams, though, I think we need to kind of begin here in non-public A. Mm-hmm. Non-public A, the state final last year was Camden Catholic against Bergen Catholic. Camden Catholic went on this kind of heroic run at the end of the season to emerge and get the Rutgers to play in a state championship. Bergen Catholic, from what I have been told, is light years better than everybody else. Now, we'll see what happens when the season begins and Bergen starts duking it out. But it's kind of Bergen Catholic. It won at the top of the list. And then where does everybody else fall in under Bergen Catholic? Bergen's got some guys. Julius Avent, 6'8", 6'9" wing, committed to Michigan State. Just a boy, oh boy. I'm expecting a massive year out of Julius Avent. Jaden Brown, another guy who is a sharpshooter, a cold-blooded kid on the basketball court. Just plays with attitude, plays with emotion, and that's not a bad thing, right? Sometimes that can be a bad thing or detriment. He uses it to his advantage. So Bergen, at their core, is just one of the most competitive teams that I think we're going to see this year. Another guy who did not play on this team last year but transferred in is Alex Mazzella, played at St. Joe's Montvale. He is now with the Crusaders. So you're looking at Bergen. They've got some young guys that are going to mix in here too that have some size. But Bergen looks like they're going to be an absolute power this year. Now, in your world, James, where does Camden Catholic kind of stack up coming into this season? What do they look like? Because, boy, that run that last year they went on was special.
It really was. It really was. A lot of overtime, double overtime thrillers in that playoff run. I think the big thing for them, they'll have to replace Luke Kennevan, who I think you and I will agree was one of the state's top players when everything was said and done last year. So I think that'll be a big question is, who's going to be that alpha for them. And I think they've got a couple of guys with Seamus Big coming back, Aziris Richmond, one of their big men. They'll have to lean on them. And this is a 24-7 a year ago, won their first sectional title in 5 years. So that this is a team with a winning culture that they're not going anywhere. I'm sure we'll be hearing from Camden Catholic time and again throughout the Olympic Conference schedule and into the state playoffs. I think the team down here to really watch, it's the team that Camden Catholic beat to get to that sectional final. It was Paul VI. They've got a really, really great duo of big men in Ibrahim Assis, Toussaint Malukila, senior guard Clinton Suggs also back, and they got a couple big newcomers. They picked up Will Spross from St. Joe Academy, a do-it-all kind of guy. Was on our all-zone team a year ago. And then I've been hearing some whispers about this freshman, Seth Dozier.
All right.
That's a name we'll have to keep an eye on. A lot of excitement around that young man. And we'll see how he integrates himself into the New Jersey high school scene.
So, look, I mean, the non-publics in South Jersey obviously are a major problem. They're good. I look at the other non-public up in North Jersey that is going to be coming into the season as a defending champion, and that's Roselle Catholic. Trayvon Lewis was a finalist for our Player of the Year last year as a junior. He is back in the mix at RC. Another guy, this is one of the most unsung players in New Jersey high school basketball. He's a grinder. This is Tyrese Hunter. This is a kid that you definitely are going to see his impact when he's out there on the court, when he's playing really well, rebounds the ball, plays well in transition, and the kid just has a knack for hitting big-time threes. Like, it's just like in his DNA. It's what he does. So, look, RC plays in one of the toughest conferences in New Jersey. The UCC, Union County, is, boy, oh boy, it's talented. And you look at the team that ran that conference, and kind of dominated the conversation of New Jersey high school basketball last year was Plainfield, right? The Cardinals, I hadn't experienced anything like that. I mean, it is an experience going to game days. My guy Chalkman, nobody knows his name, but he is I think his name's Lenny. The mascot, so to speak, for Plainfield basketball, does a LeBron chalk toss before the game, gets everybody hyped up. Plainfield basketball is an experience. That's the best way that I can put it. Their gym, the Rico, as they call it, is absolutely rocking any day, any night that they are playing games there. There's nothing like it. And last year was the Najai Hines season. Najai won our state player of the year after transferring in for just a senior season, and he took the state by storm, stole the show. It was incredible. But the guy that's leading the way for them this year, and you could make an argument was one of the leaders for them last year, definitely was a leader for them last year, is Micah Gordon. I'm out of superlatives to describe Micah. I think the best way to characterize him would maybe be like a silent assassin. That's kind of the vibe that he gives off. Doesn't talk smack, doesn't open his mouth, but goes out there and just plays, really tough basketball. Great finisher at the rim. Really good defensive player too. Makes you earn every point, makes you earn every possession. Micah is, maybe I don't know if the recruiting is picked up to where it should be, but I think this is one of the best players in New Jersey in the 2027 class. And hopefully by the time he's a senior, he gets that recognition around the entire country. Some of the core guys, for Plainfield. Most of this team is back. Kamai Lowry, Marcus Richards, Devin Thomas, all guys that played massive roles. Rayshawn Williams can jump through the roof. The kid's got insane athleticism. So, look, Plainfield is going to be a problem. When you look at the public side down in South Jersey, James, who are some of these public teams that we've got to look for as the year kicks off here?
Well, I think you always have to start with Camden.
Sure.
And this will be an interesting season for them. New beginnings for them in 2025 and 2026. Malik Wayne's head coach for the last 3 seasons left. He's now at a prep school in Arizona. Jason Harrigan is now the new head coach over there, just confirmed within the last week or so. He was the St. Joe's Prep head coach in Philadelphia for the last couple of years. Harrigan is familiar with Camden. He was an assistant in 2019, 2020. But I think there's going to be a lot of questions on who are going to be the guys for Camden because with Malik Wayne's leaving, Torrey Brooks, Zion Green, some of these national level recruits are also out the door. So I think over the first couple weeks of the season, we'll see what this Camden team is going to look like. But obviously, expectations are always high over there in Camden as they look to go try and get back into that Group 2 state championship mix.
For sure. I mean, you look at, I know Plainfield, their home setting is incredible. I know the Camden games, especially in the DJ Wagner days, were insane, right? Like you could barely get on campus. You had to park. I don't know how many blocks away did you have to park from the high school, right? Like it was insane. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out for Camden. A couple other things going on in the New Jersey high school basketball world that you should keep your eye out for. CBA. How does the Shore play out this year? I think is a big question around here. George Sorless is now back at Rumson Fairhaven, longtime girls basketball coach at RFH, was most recently the boys coach at RBR, Red Bank Regional, now back as the boys coach for the Bulldogs. So maybe Rumson starts to pick up some steam here, but I think the one thing that's most interesting is the power surge between St. Rose and CBA.
Oh, absolutely.
Brian Lynch, right? I mean, it's got to be one of the big stories in that conference. Brian Lynch, longtime, was a very successful CBA player. Went on to a career at Villanova. Very, very successful basketball player. Built St. Rose back up. Built St. Rose into, what they was a top 5 team in the state for the last number of years. He has now taken over as the head coach at his alma mater at CBA. The other thing that I don't think is being talked about a lot is Nick Marinello, who was the head coach at Hudson Catholic, is now the athletic director at CBA. And Hudson Catholic has been one of the most successful programs in North Jersey for the last 15, 20 years. So you look at a school that has invested a lot into basketball over the last 12 months. CBA is probably at the top of the list. So we're going to have to keep an eye out for transfers at CBA and what they're building. Is it going to happen in the first year? Who knows? Brian's an incredible coach. Can CBA make a run? Can CBA win a short conference championship? I think it's possible. I think the other one that's interesting too, especially in North Jersey, is what happens in Essex County now that Montclair Immaculate is shut down. This has opened up a lot on the boys and girls side. You've got players that were underclassmen who now have to find new homes. Veteran head coach at Montclair Immaculate, Jimmy Salmon, a mainstay in the AAU world in New Jersey. He's now the head coach at Newark Tech. So now you've got a Newark Tech team who has consistently carved out a role and a spot in Group 1 and being, a state championship level program, getting to that game a couple times in the last couple years. They now bring in a guy with a vast high school basketball background. Newark Tech, obviously, in one of the biggest cities in the entire state of New Jersey. So I look to the Bulldogs, I think the Terriers actually, to be a team that people have to watch out for. In Group 1, I'm sure they're going to be very successful. going out on the circuits, playing on Saturdays and Sundays and all these showcases, James, they're gonna be tested early.
Oh, yeah. And
so-
you could argue maybe on a collision course with Thrive Charter for a rematch of that Group 1 state final a year ago.
Yeah, Thrive is another one, right? I mean, Thrive, how good were they last year? They came out of nowhere.
Right. They are locked and loaded again this year from the looks of it. That core 4 of juniors all back.
They were all juniors? Is that right?
I believe so, yeah. Wow. So you're looking at Marjon Skillman, Isaiah Gore, Tyler Hammond, Javion Caesar-Jones. That core 4, if they're back for Thrive Charter, I'm sure we could be seeing that collision course of Newark Tech and Thrive Charter in just a few short months.
I'm going to have to pull up Thrive Charter's schedule because I'm sure they're going to be playing a big boy schedule this year. They have to. I mean, that's a really, really good team. I mean, this is going to be a lot of fun. The high school basketball season kicks off this weekend, and we just had our conference call earlier today, and we kind of laid out the scenario of what it's going to look like the first weekend. So, James, I guess we can kind of just tell everybody kind of what our game plan is here, where you're going to see us. Saturday is a massive kickoff event at Montgomery High School. The New Jersey Basketball Coaches Association hosting a 6-game showcase from 10 a.m. to 5:30. It is a full day of basketball. If you want to see top 20 basketball, this is where you need to go. You need to get a ticket because this is loaded with great games. Gill St. Bernard's against Madison. Linden against Rutgers Prep. St. Joe's Montvale against Plainfield. That's the game that I'm going to be at. James is going to tag in after that and do Hudson Catholic Ramapo. Ramapo was in a state championship game last year. Hudson Catholic, new head coach. I've been hearing, we hear a lot of whispers with high school basketball. There's somebody at Hudson Catholic who is making noise already. So we're going to get our first look at HC. And then Tyler's going to tag in after that and get St. Peter's Prep and Colonia. That's an interesting rematch. Last year, Colonia beat St. Peter's Prep. I was at that game. Aiden Durkak was incredible. So I know St. Peter's is going to want to begin their season with a bang. That is a massive game. And then Montgomery, the host school, is closing it out against Don Bosco Prep. Ethan Lynn, James, you mentioned Ethan at the beginning of this segment. University of Pennsylvania commit, incredible player.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, this kid is awesome. So Montgomery is going to be a power in Group 4 this year. They are absolutely going to be one of the best public schools in the entire state. So you're going to see a lot of these blue polos out in Skillman on Saturday when we cover the New Jersey Basketball Coaches Association showcase to begin this season. The basketball season is going to be a lot of fun. And when we get back, we're going to move on from boys basketball to girls basketball. There is a changing of the guard up top at number 1 and some new faces too. So when we come back, we're going to get right into girls basketball on this episode of Beyond the Score.
It's really nice to be in a situation in a place where there are very good people who take good care of people.
Orthopedics is it's not about saving lives, it's about saving quality of life.
A lot of people, we live high-stress lives, so if you tell someone they can't do something for whatever reason, that's pretty traumatic.
I really take pride in trying to be empathetic and trying to put myself in every patient's shoes.
I want to take care of people like I'd want to take care of my family, and I think that when you do that and give somebody that family feeling and give them your honest opinion for what you would do, they value that.
Buffalo Wild Wings has teamed up with Jersey Sports Zone to honor high school athletes across the state with gift cards. We'll have Buffalo Wild Wings Player of the Game interviews all year long. Visit Buffalo Wild Wings locations in North Brunswick, Bridgewater, West Windsor, Flemington, Brick, and Toms River. A special thanks to the Munson Restaurant Group for supporting New Jersey high school athletes and Jersey Sports Zone.
Hey, welcome back to Beyond the Score. Now let's get into the girls basketball season. It's kicking off in just a few days, and it's really interesting this year. Morris Catholic is now without the Paldo twins. Mia and Maya are now at University of Tennessee, and it's opened the door for somebody else to claim the number 1 spot in New Jersey by season's end. And there are a lot of takers for the spot, James, and especially in South Jersey. it looks like there's some really talented competition. So give me the inside scoop on South Jersey girls basketball from a non-public perspective, and why you think some of these teams could absolutely claim that number one spot at the end of the year.
Yeah, it's wide open is an interesting term to use, but it's definitely open for somebody from either down here or like a Red Bank Catholic to take that number one spot. But we'll start with the team that Red Bank Catholic is most likely to see during a state playoff run, and that's Paul VI. They've been an absolute powerhouse here under Orlando Hidalgo the last few years. They're coming off their first sectional title since 1989, finally broke through when they beat Red Bank Catholic a year ago. You'll see Brooke Stagliano back in the lineup, their leading scorer, a sharpshooter. She averaged 14 points per game. Rachel Thatcher, another name you want to keep an eye on, a UPenn commit, kind of does a little bit of everything for them. And the Eagles will certainly be putting their name in the hat for who's number one in New Jersey high school basketball.
Look, they're going to be a power, no question about it. Red Bank Catholic, you mentioned RBC, led by Coach Joe Montano. I think if we're making a top 20 teams in New Jersey to begin the year, it's probably RBC at 1. I think that's a safe assumption, just by what they have coming back. Addie Nimchek, Indiana commit. Nobody has seen more RBC girls basketball over the last number of years than Rich. This is his world. He's locked in with the Caseys, and Addie is a player since when she was a freshman. He was like special. And I think Coach Montano has even compared her to Larry Bird. I've heard that. I've heard that conversation too.
I mean, that's high praise. She has been and. As somebody that doesn't see RBC as much as Rich or you might see them, Jay, she is as advertised. She is that good. So worth the price of admission for sure. Incredible
player. She's been up for our Miss Hoop Zone Player of the Year the last 2 seasons. I think she's a heavy favorite. I can almost guarantee her spot on the podium right now. I'd say she's probably a heavy favorite to win just based off of what RBC is bringing back to the amount of talent. Tessa Liggio is committed to Cornell. Katie Liggio is committed to Rhode Island. So Red Bank Catholic has this really, really impressive core of players. A team that's 10 miles away from RBC is St. John Vianney. And shout out Dawn Carpel, big Jersey Sports Zone fan and supporter. And so we will always get to St. John Vianney because look, the results are undeniable. This is one of the best girls basketball programs in New Jersey over the last 20 years. Taylor Sofolkanich, 6'5" center, just an absolute problem in the paint. She's committed to Duke. Stella Lockhart, committed to Georgetown. Madison Kosis, committed to UPenn. So another team in the short conference that has this really, really stellar talented core of seniors that they're going to go to war with. Non-public A, especially in the South, is like, oh my God, it's like
that is a certainly murderer's row of teams at the top end of non-public A.
Yeah, the PowerPoints are going to be extra valuable this year because nobody's going to want to play these games on the road. You're going to want to get these teams in your home gym and get that little advantage, get every advantage that you can get. We mentioned Morris Catholic before, James, and it's just going to look different. I think that's fair, right? And that's not a shot to Morris Catholic or anything. It's just the reality. It's going to look different. Mia and Maya are no longer there. Mia, obviously, our reigning player of the year. Just an incredible kid, incredible player. Nothing like it. She was special. But what does Morris Catholic look like in the post-Paldo era? It's going to be different. Jack Settleman is probably the player that I'm most interested in seeing take a major step forward and into a leadership role. She's plays that guard, wing, forward kind of hybrid. She's all over the place. Really good rebounder, really good finisher around the rim. It's a really talented kid. So I'm curious to see what Morris Catholic looks like. They constantly are playing in big-time games and massive showcases, always challenging themselves. I'd like to think that Morris County is open for business this year without me and Maya there, but I would still think that they are probably the heavy favorites to win that county, and most likely could be the North representative in non-public A. Non-public B, we talked so heavily about non-public A, but non-public B certainly has some players too. Who stands out in your mind?
Yeah, so we touched on it with Montclair Immaculate closing after last season. They win their first and last state championship a year ago,
right.
And I think the team they saw in that final will be one of the favorites in non-public B, and that's Gloucester Catholic. Fell short in that state final a year ago, but they had a heck of a season, and they bring back a Player of the Year type player in Jazar Green, a St. Joseph's commit. Had almost 550 points a year ago. She's actually the highest scoring returning player in all of non-public basketball.
Wow.
At the moment.
Oof.
Yeah. Had the most points a year ago out of any of these great non-public players that we've been talking about here. And, man, she can do it all for them. It could be another special season for the Rams at GC.
Yeah, look, we're looking forward to that.
And then,
yeah, absolutely.
A couple other teams you want to, from a South Jersey's perspective, Bishop Eustace out of the Olympic Conference should be another team to watch. And then you've got that Cape Atlantic League trio of Wildwood Catholic, Our Lady of Mercy Academy, and Holy Spirit. Just a couple of those non-public teams to watch as we kick things off here in the high school basketball season.
I look on the public side now and what some of these teams bring to the table. Group 1 was dominated by New Providence. Annie Conover and company just put together a masterful season last year. The Pioneers are riding a 24-game win streak coming into the season. Boy, they are a really, really good basketball team. Annie is she's a player. Boy, oh boy, is she good. So when you look at Group 1s, New Prov is a heavy favorite to repeat and a heavy favorite to, compete for that conference championship, win that conference championship probably. It'll be interesting. Group 4, a team that fell short last year, West Orange. Ryan Watt, boy, oh boy, she's a really good player. Up and down the floor, commands the floor with authority. A really, really tough player. So those are two of the kids that I'm looking forward to seeing this year. And I know there's certainly down in South Jersey plenty from the public side as well, James.
Absolutely. You touch on Group 1. I think the question for a lot of those South Jersey Group 1 contenders, who's going to step up? Haddon Township, Wildwood, Woodstown all have to replace some key seniors. Can a team like Glassboro make a run? I think those are some of the things I'll be looking at as we get started with the season. Group 4, Cherokee and Lenape. Are we on a collision course for another Cherokee-Lenape rematch?
Sure.
Cherokee has Brielle Alaba, a Boston University commit, coming back, and then Lenape will have Elenita Joe Samuel leading the way. Two fantastic players. Can a team like Howell make a run in the South Jersey Group 4 bracket? And then for me, you look at Group 3, Cherry Hill West winning their first state championship a year ago. Kirsten Gibson back to lead the way.
Okay.
Really established herself as one of the better guards in the Garden State, certainly on the public side. And then with Moorestown, are they on a collision course with them again? Annalise Intenzo, a Fairleigh Dickinson commit. I believe Gibson and Intenzo, the top two returning Group 3 scorers from a year ago. So, and then can a team like Clearview get in there? Group 2, Middle Township, the defending South Jersey Group 2 champions. Regan Powell back to lead the way there. Haddon Heights, Cinnaminson, Manchester Township, some of those teams that they may have to see along the way as they try to defend and win I believe a third straight sectional championship.
Girls basketball in New Jersey is so good. I mean, it really is. It really is. The North Jersey, there's a lot of good teams up there. Central part of the state, fantastic. And obviously South Jersey, too. Just a really, really impressive region and a really, really good basketball state. So that is our winter sports breakdown. a little bit of hockey, a little bit of boys basketball, a little bit of girls basketball. I hope this is able to kind of get you set up for the season. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to wrap things up on episode 15, give everybody a little look into our Zoneman Trophy balloting football. All of our football all-zone honors is all that's going to be happening this week. So when we come back, we're going to break all that down on the final segment of Beyond the Score.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
All right, welcome back for the last segment here on Beyond the Score, episode 15. We have collected ballots from around the entire state of New Jersey, well over 50 coaches and credentialed media in the entire state. We do have our Zoneman. I'm not telling you, though. It's not happening right now. It's not happening right now.
No hints? Nothing?
No hints. You're not getting it from me. That's coming later in the week. I would have ruined Rich's day if I said it right here, right now. He would not have been happy with me. But we're gonna hold on to that. That is coming up later in the week. We are going to do a presentation ceremony, full feature story. All of that is going to be rolled out at the end of the week. I don't know if we have a day set aside yet just for that. We also have to get this whole thing set up too. And there's a lot that goes into that. We make sure that the player has no idea that they win. That is the key aspect of the Zoneman presentation. It's a lot of fun if we can do it that way. So we will be presenting the Zoneman this week. If you're following us on all of our social media channels, you are going to see our all-zone football team get rolled out. You're looking at well over 100 players from around the entire state of New Jersey getting football postseason honors from us. Everybody's got video. Everybody is going to have a little bio congratulating them and recognizing them for, their incredible season. So keep an eye out for all of that. We tape on Mondays, so by the time you're listening on Wednesday, go and vote for our Plays of the Year. Tyler Miraz took care of that today. The social push on our Plays of the Year is out now. So, James, did we shoot some good games this year? Some incredible moments.
Oh yeah. I don't know how he picked, sparsed some of these.
I know,
we got to cut the lists off somewhere, but it was another tremendous season.
It was
on the football field.
It was. It was a great football season. We love high school football here at Jersey Sports Zone, and we send it off in the best way possible that we can. So take a look at our social media channels for all of that. We are also going to be at games throughout this week. Big hockey games underway. James, as we talked about, is going to dive into the South Jersey hockey, some teams coming down there. We're going to be all over the place. And then Saturday, that big showcase at Montgomery. We're going to have highlights from a number of those games there as well. So for James Mooney, I'm Jay Cook. This was episode 15 of Beyond the Score. A good episode, James. Thankfully, the internet was good, too, because we just did an hour over Riverside. So I'm very happy about that the internet stayed up well. So thank you for joining me, brother. I appreciate it. And we'll talk to everybody soon.
Yeah. Always happy to talk New Jersey high school sports with you, Jay. Glad we could do this.
Love it. All right, episode 15, Beyond the Score, in the books.
If you have chronic joint or back pain, this is probably where you spend your time. Might we suggest a better destination that's close to home? RWJ Barnabas Health, where orthopedic surgeons designed the surgical implants that are now used around the world, and where you'll be cared for by the same doctors that treat professional athletes and rising stars. Get back to what you've been missing. Orthopedic care. Do it right. Here, RWJ Barnabas Health.